She said, "You're not my dad, stop questioning me." But when I showed up at her favorite club, I found her dancing with her ex. That night, I finally walked away for good. I am 32, and my name is Alex. For the last 6 months, my girlfriend Maya and I have been drifting apart. One night, before she left for a friend's house at 2 a.m., I said to her, "You're an adult, you can do what you want." She answered coldly, "You're not my dad. Stop questioning where I go." Those words hit me harder than I expected. An hour later, I found myself in the same nightclub where Maya was, surrounded by my true friends. The look on her face when she saw me, there was like she didn't know what to think. It was a moment that showed me everything had changed between us. For months, our relationship had felt like two people living together but already gone, sharing a home filled with silence and distance. Maya and I used to be the couple everyone admired. We were so close that we finished each other's sentences, shared strange jokes, and loved the same foreign films. I'm a graphic designer who likes quiet nights at home, working on projects with music and the person I love by my side. That person was Maya. But slowly, her nights out became more frequent and longer. When I asked who she was with, the answers were vague, and she started hiding her phone from me. Our world became smaller until I was alone on the couch, wondering where she was. My friend Chris told me straight, "She's taking advantage of you." I made excuses because I loved her. Love makes you blind to the pain. That Friday night, I cooked Maya's favorite pasta for 2 hours, hoping to reconnect. She came home late, saw the dinner, and said she wasn't hungry. She left to meet her friends and spent hours texting with a secret smile. I didn't say anything and went to sleep. At 2 a.m., I woke up to her getting dressed quietly. I asked where she was going. She said sharply, "Out. To a friend's house. Sarah needs me." I knew Sarah was out of town because I saw her social media photos earlier. I asked Maya to be honest, but she said, "You're not my dad. Stop questioning me." That hurt more than words. I realized I wasn't her dad. I was her boyfriend, but she treated me like a stranger. I said, "You're an adult." I lay back down and she left. The silence that night was different. It was the silence of an ending. After that night, I called my old friends. I had ignored them for too long. We agreed to meet at the Velvet Room, a big loud nightclub downtown. It was a place Maya would never expect to see me. When I walked in, I felt nervous but also free. My friends welcomed me like I had never left. For the first time in months, I laughed and felt like myself again. Then I saw Maya in the crowd, dancing with a tall man. They were close, too close for just friends. My heart sunk, but I didn't run or get angry. I stayed calm, drinking with my friends. Maya saw me and her smile disappeared. Her face showed shock, panic, and anger. She came over, demanding to know why I was there. I told her calmly I was with my friends. She said she was at Sarah's house, but I knew that was a lie. I asked her why she lied and cheated. I told her she was wrong to think I would wait at home like a child. I said, "You're an adult, Maya. So am I." She was speechless. I walked back to my friends and enjoyed the night for the first time in months. The next morning, Maya came back to apologize. She cried and said it was a mistake, but I had packed her bags. It was over. I felt peaceful, not angry or sad. The quiet was finally mine. I sent a message to my friends, same time next week, and I knew I would be there. After Maya left that night, the apartment felt unusually quiet, but not in the way it had before. It was the kind of silence that feels like freedom rather than loneliness. For so long, my life had revolved around waiting, wondering, and questioning. Waiting for Maya to come home, wondering where she was, and questioning what was real between us. Now that weight was lifted, even though it hurt deep inside. I remembered what it felt like to be just me again, not the man who was constantly walking on eggshells around someone else's secrets. The next morning, I woke up without that heavy cloud hanging over me. Instead of dreading another day of pretending, I felt a strange new hope. I didn't know what the future held, but for the first time in months, I felt like I could breathe. When Maya came back the next day, she was different. She didn't try to hide or defend herself. She apologized, her voice shaking with regret and confusion. She said she was lost, that the other guy didn't mean anything, and that she didn't want to hurt me. But the hurt was there already, deep and sharp, and no words could undo that. I had already packed her things, leaving them by the door as a quiet reminder that some doors close for good. She stared at the bags for a long moment, and then looked at me like she was seeing me for the first time. I didn't say much. There was nothing left to argue about. She left without another word, and for once, I didn't feel sad or angry. I felt calm, like a chapter had ended, and a new one was starting. It was a peaceful kind of quiet, the kind that comes from letting go. In the days that followed, I reconnected with my old friends more than ever. The group chat called The Degenerates became my daily escape, a place full of jokes, plans, and the kind of friendship I had missed so deeply. I started to feel like myself again, the Alex who didn't need to apologize for loving, for expecting respect, for wanting honesty. Slowly, I found joy in the small things. A good coffee in the morning, a new design project, laughing until my stomach hurt with people who truly cared. It wasn't always easy. Sometimes memories of Maya would sneak in, and the pain would flare up unexpectedly. But I reminded myself that healing is not a straight path, and that moving forward means choosing myself. Looking back, I realized that night at the club was a turning point. It was the moment I stopped living in the shadows of someone else's secrets and started claiming my own life. Seeing Maya dancing with someone else hurt, but it also freed me. It was the final proof that our relationship had changed, and that I deserved better. Not just in love, but in life. I don't hate her. I don't even really blame her. I understand now that sometimes people change, and sometimes love isn't enough to keep two people together. What matters is that I found the strength to walk away and to remember who I am. Sometimes, late at night, when the city is quiet and the memories are loud, I think about what could have been. But then I look around at the life I'm building for myself. The friendships I'm rebuilding, the dreams I'm chasing, and the peace I'm finding. And I know that leaving was the right choice. Maya was part of my past, and I'm ready for my future. The silence in my apartment no longer feels empty. It feels like a blank canvas, waiting for new stories to be painted. And for the first time in a long time, I'm excited to see what comes next. That night marked the end of one chapter and the beginning of another. A chapter where I choose myself, my happiness, and my peace above all else. I realized that love without respect is nothing more than an empty promise. And sometimes the hardest thing to do is to walk away from someone you once believed would be forever. Maya's goodbye was painful, but it was also necessary. It cleared the path for me to heal, to grow, and to rediscover the person I was meant to be. I didn't need to chase after someone who didn't see my worth, because finally, I saw it clearly for myself. The apartment, once filled with silence that felt like waiting, was now a space of freedom and possibility. I found joy in the little things again, in the smiles of old friends, in quiet nights spent working on my passion, and in the simple pleasure of knowing I was no longer trapped in a relationship built on lies and secrets. I learned that sometimes the greatest act of love is to let go, to close the door firmly behind you, and to walk into the future with your head held high. As I put down my phone that morning, seeing the message from my friends inviting me out again, I smiled and typed back, "Definitely," because this time, I was not just showing up for them, I was showing up for me, and that was the best revenge of all.